Look, PFL started 5 years ago. If you were starting a sports global league from scratch, you would focus on global media rights. Your DMA, or your addressable market, would be the entire world. You wouldn't focus on a city or even a continent. You would focus on the global consumer. When it comes to MMA, there's 650 million fans. That's the third biggest fan base. Trails only soccer and basketball. They are very underserved. UFC gives them a great product, but just 40 fight events a year. For 650 million fans, there's 3,200 soccer matches, 5,000 basketball games. So that MMA fan is underserved, wants more premium product. So PFL is focused on the global streaming and the global linear distribution of media for that fan.
So where's I suppose, the strategy moving forward? Because, I agree with you completely in terms of, people and fights and having that attention span for that specifically, because it's like you go to any sporting event, but if there's a fight in the crowds, everyone's turning to look at the fight instead of the action. But you obviously need some of the ancillary things to go along with it in terms of, the coverage that UFC gets does dwarf a lot of the other organisations. It just does, just by the nature of the beast. So how are you planning to try and increase your media strategy at the same time in terms of, having deals with podcast hosts or things like that in order to really drive that engagement?
Yeah, look, it's a great question. When you look at any sports league, whether it's the PFL or the NBA, there's three things that are fundamental. You have to have top athletes, you have to have true global premium distribution, and you have to build your viewership. And when you look at that, PFL now has 25% of our roster ranked in the top 25 in the world. And fighters are coming our way. Francis Ngannou, he is the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world. This is almost like if the reigning MVP of the NBA had left the NBA because they weren't happy. Or Jake Paul, who is the most influential, is named by Sports Illustrated this week in combat sports, is an MMA with PFL. So athletes check. Great roster at PFL and fighters coming our way. Why? They want control. They don't want to be under a promoter's thumb. In the PFL, if you win, you advance. The fighters control. But the second thing is global distribution. We're in 150 countries with 22 premium media distribution. The exact same as UFC. It's never happened in MMA or combat before where the number two companies had the same distribution as the number one company. And last of all, viewership. We're only 5 years old. Yet this year in 2023, we're 40% of UFC's viewing audience. We've gone from 0 to 40% in 5 years. And our brand is just starting. They've been around 30 years. And as I said, we're growing 3 times faster. So when you really see that MMA fan wants another product and likes watching both of them, they don't have to choose either or.